This is your news source evening bulletin for Tuesday, the 6th day of July in the year 2021. I'm Gordon Mosley, and here's what we're tracking tonight. The APNU-AFC coalition today filed two motions of no confidence against two ministers of the government. The motions were filed with the clerk of the National Assembly, and they seek the removal of Health Minister Dr. Frank Anthony and Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben, as the two no longer enjoy the confidence of the opposition in addressing issues related to their portfolios. With regard to the Minister of Health, the opposition believes he has bungled Guyana's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and should no longer be heading the health ministry. Just after submitting the two motions, opposition leader Joe Harmon told reporters that there can be no confidence in Frank Anthony as health minister because of his failure to put proper systems in place to tackle the pandemic.
We all know that the situation in Guyana with respect to the COVID-19 pandemic continues to spiral out of control. The number of deaths is about 478 or thereabouts today. And this is basically running like a runaway train with no perceptible plan on the part of the ministry, of this minister, to deal with the COVID situation.
And Mr. Harmon expressed concern once again about the procurement of the Sputnik vaccines through a middleman in the United Arab Emirates. Although the government paid for the vaccines in full and in advance, it is still awaiting more than 100,000 doses of the second dose, which is needed to complete the vaccination of persons against the virus. More than 100,000 persons across the country are now waiting on that second dose of Sputnik, and the government still has no idea when those doses will arrive. Mr. Harmon said the government has been playing around with the lives of citizens and continues to fail to present full and concise information on the vaccination deal that saw Guyana going through a middleman and paying twice the price.
And so as of now, we are still not satisfied that this minister, the Ministry of Health, has taken the condition of our health and the health of our people seriously. And so what we are saying is that on behalf of the people of Guyana, that we have no confidence in Frank Anthony to run the affairs of the health of this country as a Minister of Health, and we have asked that the House sanctions him and that he be called upon to resign immediately.
The opposition leader also wants to see the removal of Robeson Ben as the Minister of Home Affairs. Mr. Harmon said it appears as though even the government has lost confidence in Ben, since the administration is making moves to set up a secretive regional security force.
The government itself already has moved a no confidence motion in Ben by setting up an alternative police force to deal with crime. When they came to the House and asked for money for a regional force, a regional entity that is a new entity that ostensibly has to deal with crime. Crime is a police function. And if your own government is saying that, look, we need to remove this function from you and give it to somebody else, then in fact what they are saying is that they do not have the confidence in Ben to be the Minister of Home Affairs.
Harmon told reporters that while crime statistics are being hidden locally, other countries have been warning their citizens against traveling to Guyana, and that is worrying.
If you look even at statements that emanate from the United States Embassy here in Guyana as advice to their citizens, they are saying that crime is out of control. Crime is out of control.
Once approved by the Speaker, the two motions will be listed for debate in the National Assembly. With the government holding the majority in the Assembly, the success of the motions might be a long shot, but their presentation and debate could unravel key issues and information related to the security and health sectors. More news coming up in just a moment.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together, we rise.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Preparing for your NGSA exams is always a challenge. The Guyana Learning Channel is here to help. You can go to YouTube using your browser or your mobile device, then search for the Guyana Learning Channel in the search bar. We're live streaming our NGSA booster videos all day and all night. If you want to study a specific subject or topic, you can go to our NGSA booster playlist. You can look at a specific subject, such as mathematics, and then look for a specific topic. Here, you can follow along with the lesson to prepare for your examination. Remember kids, study hard, and best of luck in your exams.
Sonia, you think people easy? People just really want to do their own thing. Look across the road how we building the house low. The building code say you're supposed to be 2 feet off the ground.
And when the place flood, them just be the first to complain.
But you know sometimes we that just contribute to the flooding with we behavior.
You know, boy, we just throw things in the drains and canals. We don't keep the gutters clean and dispose of garbage properly. By the way, you got an emergency kit?
Yeah, Sonia, I got me own and it got drinking water, army medicines, and for say things like band-aids, iodine, bandages.
And me own got in toothpaste, a change of underwear and clothing, toilet paper and soap.
Guyana, our country, our responsibility.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Let GBTI make your dreams of owning a home a reality. Buy or build your home with us. Let us help you to completely outfit your home and make it move-in ready. Need to purchase land? We finance that too. Benefit from our 10% down payment and interest rates as low as 4.25%. Calculated on the reducing balance with up to 30 years to repay. Switch your mortgage to us and learn about benefiting from the equity in your home. Invest wisely. Apply online or call your branch to schedule an appointment. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. Magistrate Peter Hugh this morning ruled that the state had provided insufficient evidence against 2 Berbice men charged with the murder of Berbice teenager Isaiah Henry. However, the 2 accused, Vinod Gopal and Anil Sanchara, will remain behind bars as the preliminary inquiry into the murder of the other teenager, Joel Henry, is set to begin in August. Gopal and Sanchara were charged jointly with the murder of the 2 Henry cousins. A third man who was also charged with a double murder is being tried separately, and his matter is ongoing. During the preliminary inquiry into the murder of Isaiah Henry, the state presented a total of 19 witnesses, and none of those witnesses could tie the two men to the murder. Attorney Dexter Todd, who represented the interests of the two men, explained to News Source that after the state wrapped up its case, there was no need to file a no-case submission, since the evidence was so bad that it could not substantiate the charges in the first place. The attorney said there should really be a probe into the police force's investigation of the murder of the Henry cousins, since based on the evidence that was presented during the preliminary inquiry, it appears as though statements were padded with information and stories were concocted to tie the men to the murder of the teenage cousins. News Source understands that during that preliminary inquiry, most of the witnesses called by the state did not stand by the statements that were presented to the court, claiming that a lot of the contents in the statements were not presented by them during the investigations. The magistrate ruled that the state has failed to provide evidence to substantiate the evidence against the two men. The inquiry into the murder of Joel Henry is set to begin in a few weeks' time, and the same evidence that was presented in the case that was dismissed today is expected to be presented in the upcoming case. Berbice teenage cousins Isaiah and Joel Henry were found murdered in the Cotton Tree Bank Dam in Berbice last September, after they were reported as missing. The teenagers were mutilated and chopped about their bodies, and their deaths led to days of fiery protests on the west coast of Berbice. Since then, two of their relatives have been charged in connection with two different murders in the same Berbice area of persons who were connected to early suspects in the Henry cousins murder case. Well, the Director of Public Prosecutions has requested court documents from Magistrate Peter Hugh after he dismissed the charges filed against two of the three suspects in the murder of Berbice teen Isaiah Henry. Hours after the magistrate's decision today, the DPP Shalimar Alihak made her request for the court documents. The DPP said the request will be used to ascertain the next steps for the office of the DPP in the matter, since that office maintains that there was sufficient evidence against the two men at the time that a charge was instituted. In discharging the matter this morning, the magistrate ruled that there was no substantial evidence linking the two men, Vinod Gopal and Anil Sanchara, to the murder of Isaiah Henry. The Office of Professional Responsibility of the Guyana Police Force has forwarded a file on the police shooting death of Kitty resident Peter Headley to the chairman of the Police Complaints Authority for additional investigation. Earlier today, the public relations officer for the DPP's office indicated that that office had received the file and had returned it to the police for additional investigation. However, this evening she clarified that the file was not sent to the DPP. She explained that the process is now with the Police Complaints Authority, and after that authority's probe, then the file will be dispatched to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions or the Police Legal Advisor for advice on the possible charges. It's been more than 6 weeks since Headley was shot dead by the police. The investigation was conducted by the Police Office of Professional Responsibility, but that office has been very tight-lipped on the probe. The incident took place back in May, when Headley and one of his friends were stopped by the police. The police claimed that the men were suspects in a robbery, since they had a TV in the car that Headley was driving that was similar to one which was stolen days before during a break-and-entry. The two men were arrested but separated. Headley was placed in the front passenger seat of his own car, while one police officer took over the driving and another sat in the back seat. The officers claimed that while they were driving to the police station, the arrested man, Peter Headley, tried to reach for a gun under the seat and was shot in return. There was no gun found in the vehicle, and several questions have been raised by the man's family. The family of the dead man is convinced that he was killed in cold blood. They are pressing for murder charges to be filed against the two police officers. The chairman of the Police Service Commission, retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow, dispatched a letter over the weekend to acting top cop Nigel Hoppy, informing him to activate the process to formally promote the ranks who were recently promoted by the Police Service Commission. Hoppy had until this afternoon to activate the process. So far, he has not. The government had indicated that it will be ignoring the Police Service Commission's promotion list since the entire commission remains suspended. But the attorney for the commission, Selwyn Peters, recently indicated to the president that his suspension of the commission is unlawful and will therefore be disregarded. In the letter to the Deputy Police Commissioner Nigel Hoppy, Mr. Slow reminded him that he needs to be following the law and begin the process to formally promote all of the ranks who were issued promotions by the PSC. Slow said Hoppy's action in not ensuring that a special promotion order is prepared and published 1 week after receiving the promotion list from the Police Service Commission is interpreted by the Commission to be defying the legitimate action of the Police Service Commission in promoting the ranks of the Guyana Police Force. Slow further explained that Mr. Hoppy is required to cause a special promotion order to be prepared so that the promoted ranks and other members of the force can be informed of the promotions. The quartermaster also uses that special promotion order to issue badges of rank to the newly promoted ranks, but that order has not yet been prepared. Mr. Slow informed the Deputy Commissioner that he needs to govern himself accordingly, and if he fails to give effect to the promotions, it will result in legal action. Well, outgoing CARICOM Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque has called on the region to design a post-pandemic recovery program that will not only revive economies but enhance resilience. Speaking during the opening ceremony of the 42nd regular meeting of CARICOM heads of government yesterday, Ambassador LaRocque said the pandemic and the protocols that are in place to control its spread and to maintain the safety of populations in the region have dealt a debilitating blow to the Caribbean economies, many of which are heavily dependent on tourism and travel and the hospitality sector.
A public procurement protocol opening a market estimated at $5 billion for businesses within member states of the CSME has been signed, and the online dashboard advertising tenders has been established. The aviation sector has also been liberalized with the coming into force of the Multilateral Air Services Agreement. It is my expectation that as more airlines make use of this agreement, it will allow for greater choice of movement throughout our community and contribute with competition to lowering airfares.
And highlighting the scope of the impact of the pandemic, the Secretary General pointed to the International Monetary Fund categorization of the region as the worst affected in the world. Meanwhile, outgoing CARICOM Chairman, Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, said in facing the pandemic frontally, the region's stance on equitable vaccine access anchored the region's actions and continues to resonate globally, especially among developing countries.
In facing the pandemic frontally, our early stance on equitable vaccine access, which we articulated early in January, anchored our region's actions and continues to resonate globally, especially among developing countries. We took the decision that, as chairman, I would write to specific heads of third states to request vaccines from their surplus supplies. This clarion call, as well as strategic engagement and advocacy with high-level office holders in key capitals and international institutions, have resulted in offers of vaccines from various channels. This has put us closer to our goal to inoculate as many of our citizens as possible, to ensure that they are protected from evolving mutations of the virus, and to enable us to return safely and sooner to bolstering livelihoods.
According to Rowley, the solidarity that exists among member states is not being taken lightly and must be nurtured and lauded. In similar vein, he said he believes that the unequivocal principled position CARICOM took in the smoldering dispute between Guyana and Venezuela earlier this year went a long way in bringing that matter to a place where the heat has abated.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
At Sash Financial, we create strategies for strengthening business and personal finances while helping our clients to build sustainable wealth. Our financial and business consultancy services are uniquely tailored to ensure every client receives quality packages and optimal results. Our financial services include financial reporting and analysis, financial status assessment, internal audits, bookkeeping and records management, financial planning advice, tax returns. Our business advisory services are related to business plans, business startups, operational improvement, business management, document preparation, procedures development, efficient marketing. Call or WhatsApp us today for your free consultation on telephone number 592-665-6045. Sash Financial, strengthening businesses, building wealth.
What's our purpose? Together we rise. For our community, our customer, and our country. Our promises: strengthen our community, reliably connect our customers, innovate for all in our country. Together we rise.
Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
My name is Barton Scotland, former Speaker of the National Assembly. I have taken my vaccine and I'm encouraging everyone 60 years and over to do the same.
Across the region tonight, the Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has announced that he will give the COVAX system an ultimatum this week to send the country's share of coronavirus vaccines, as all pending payments had been made to the global vaccine sharing scheme. Venezuela received word from COVAX in June that the last 4 payments had been blocked by UBS. The payments to cover the $120 million fee have already been made, the president said. Maduro said in a live appearance on state television that officials had been instructed to give the COVAX system an ultimatum. He said they send the vaccines or they give the money back. Officials have said for months that sanctions were hampering their ability to make bank transfers necessary to pay for COVAX doses. But in April, officials said they had made the payments to the entity run by the World Health Organization, which provides doses to poor nations. The COVAX system has failed Venezuela, the president said. St. Lucians will go to the polls on the 26th of July. Nomination day will be on the 16th of July. The Prime Minister of St. Lucia, Alan Chastanet, made the announcement earlier today in an address to the nation, in which he appealed for a second consecutive term in office. While describing the main opposition, St. Lucia Labour Party, led by Philip J. Appiah, as a spent force, Chastanet touted the United Workers' Party's record of performance over the past 5 years. Pointing to a recent report from the credit rating agency, the Prime Minister said St. Lucia is one of the best performing countries in the region, and that the efforts of the United Workers' Party government are working. In the June 2016 general election, the UWP unseated the St. Lucia Labour Party, claiming that 11 of the 17 seats would remain there going to the SLP. And finally tonight, international news. Police in Nicaragua have arrested 2 student activists and 4 members of the farmers' movement in its latest crackdown on the opposition. Among those arrested on Monday night was Medario Minera, who was planning to run for the Nicaraguan presidency. His arrest brings the number of presidential hopefuls detained since the beginning of June to 6. President Daniel Ortega is expected to stand for a 4th consecutive term in the presidential election in November. Police have not yet said on what grounds or charges the activists were detained on Monday. One of those arrested was live tweeting his arrest, moments after he announced that the police were breaking into his house. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.